There we go. So we are here to troubleshoot or celebrate anything regarding email and the email marathon. So first, I will just give you a little bit of a rundown of where we're at. So we're going to be starting in the second half to write more emails. Depending on what pathway you're on, you're going to be writing a whole bunch, as my granddaughter says, a whole bunch of emails over the next little bit. So it's going to be fun, 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 fun. And yes, there are tech glitches as we go along. Sometimes it can be hard because it's hard like to get into the other ConvertKit account for Bodygraph chart. We're always waiting on tokens and there's a time difference and all those things. So that's why sometimes there's a little bit of a glitch. And we pivoted to add the Facebook group because so many people were missing it, right? You're used to having us in a Facebook group. So we're kind of getting a little bit of a slow start there. But if you are in the Facebook group, just please, talk to us in there. Let's start communicating in there. And if you're not, you need to get in there. It's the Bodygraph Chart email marathon group, and it's been posted in the regular group quite a few times. Andrea might be able to grab it for us while she's here. So, what is coming up for you around email this time? What do you want to chat through? Yeah, Nancy?
Where can I get more information about the stories that you spoke about?
What kind of stories?
You said to have 5 stories, for your email, and you briefly talked about sort of the progression of the story. Is there more information about that anywhere?
Well, they're your stories.
Right, but
Yeah.
sort of the format to create them, and how is that all in that one email, or is it more than one email? I just had some
Yeah,
tech.
so we're going to be coming back to those stories. So for the first little bit, your job is to track some stories, and it's a good idea to have way more than 3 or 5 or whatever I asked for in your pathway. You just always want to have a story bank. So whatever system you use to store things, I like Trello, but you can use Google Docs or anything, and keep a running list of stories. What is your design and profile, Nancy?
I am a 6'2" generator,
Okay.
emotional generator.
Okay, so you probably have stories every day that you are in response to, things that you're in response to. So the trick is to capture those things. And sometimes we don't know in the moment what we're going to do with them, and that's okay because there will come a time where you're like, "Oh my God, I want to teach them about this, or I want to show them this, or guide them to this." And that would be the perfect story. But it's a good idea to kind of go back in your memory bank too, especially as a sixth line. You probably have a lot of lessons that you have learned that you can transfer into knowledge for other people. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay.
And just so the story would be one complete email, or would you drip it out over multiple emails? Or,
Can you give me an example of a story you're thinking of?
well, if you were talking about, somebody that had aligned themselves with their business, and what changed, would you, tell the whole story about the before and after, or would you create more than one email out of it?
I would do both.
You would do both.
So, you're a business coach.
Mhm.
Are you telling your own story about alignment?
No.
Client story?
Hmm.
Okay. So there is a way to do kind of a blanket story where it's like, typically when people work with me, there is something that's missing. They don't know what it is, but and you're blah 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 blah. It's some of the ways that this shows up in their real life. So we need to get really good at explaining things in a way that they're actually showing up in people's life.
Hmm.
So what was actually going wrong? And then why did they, or it could be what was going wrong, why they came to you to fix it, and then what happened. And
Okay.
then in other emails, it could be one piece of someone's business. Like, can you give me some specific things that you deal with in people's businesses? What's your
Well, this particular person was drowning in overwhelm and
uh
extremely anxious because they had all these tactics they had learned, and they just felt like they had to do them all. And I've been a business consultant and a strategist most of my career. So she needed a strategy. She didn't have an overall strategy. And, we used some human design characteristics to help her realize that she didn't have to do everything if it
yeah.
wasn't right for her. And also how to really wind herself down and ground her in who she was, and recognize through good decision making what was the right thing for her to do versus what everybody was telling her to do. So it was kind of a multifaceted awakening, if you will. But when
Um,
she realized she could almost give herself permission to stop,
yeah.
and just the mere fact that she had less on her plate and less overwhelm gave her the ability to focus on what she really needed to focus on in order to have a successful business.
Okay, I'm writing notes, so I'm coming back.
Okay.
Um, okay. If I don't, then I'll lose track. So there's 9 emails in there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I was thinking too.
This is my superpower.
Cool.
No, there's 9 emails in there. So you could do one that is just kind of an overview. What I see for this is it could be a series. And you could say for
Mm-hmm.
the next couple of months, I'm going to take you on a series, just a little bite-sized bit at a time. I'll give you the overview here in this first email, and then we'll kind of tie it all together in the last email. But I don't want to overwhelm you. So I'm just going to give you the overall picture, and then I'll land the plane week by week by week with you, or, if you do it twice a week, whatever, however you do it.
Okay.
So you've got the overall picture. You've got this overwhelmed, anxious entrepreneur who doesn't know what to focus on, and she's basically burning herself out because she's not getting anything done and blah 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 blah. That's your first kind of lay of the land. Then you talked about how she doesn't have a business strategy is one email.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's lost in overwhelm and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't read my writing. She needs to wind herself down. She doesn't know how to make proper decisions. She had a multifaceted awakening. What is that? What does it look like in her real life?
Mm-hmm.
She needs permission to stop doing all of the things. She needs to
Okay.
understand that the less she has on her plate, the less overwhelm she'll have. And she needs to focus on the one thing that will actually move her business forward. But each of those is a separate email.
Okay, I see. Great. I knew it was more than one because otherwise it would have been a friggin' ebook and nobody would have read it.
Yeah. And I think that that's our gift with human design too. Well, any coach worth their salt, but also like really with human design is that we can clearly see how easily people get overwhelmed. And so when we take it back, when you look at something, so proofread out loud when you read something, and every time you hear yourself switching concepts or bringing in another thing, that's
That's
another
another
email.
email.
That's another
Ah,
post.
awesome. What a nugget. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thanks for kicking us off. I appreciate you. Okay, does anybody else want to chat through what's coming up for you?
I have two things that I'm um, running into. First, haven't set up an email program yet, and I'm leaning towards Mailblue. That's the Dutch version of ActiveCampaign.
Okay.
That combines well, right?
Yeah.
That works.
So Bodygraph chart, they told me, like Victoria told me that their top three are MailerLite,
Mm-hmm.
MailChimp, and
Yeah, I saw your email or your thing of it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay, but there's no manual how to implement it, right? Or is it?
the Dutch form.
No, just like Active Campaign because it's in Dutch, but furthermore, it's the same program, the
Yes,
same
I would if
software.
if it's the same program, yeah. And then so there are active campaign tutorials in the Bodygraph chart help center.
Oh,
Can you
okay,
can
tutorials
you
help.
translate those if you go through them?
Oh, the English is fine. That's
Okay.
that's not a
But I just
problem.
didn't know if the platform you would need to, but anyway, yeah, they're all there in the help center. There's
Okay,
video and written for you.
okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was wondering for something else as well because I want to for my freebie. I was looking at it and I want to make the combination between type and authority.
Hmm.
Because it's a big difference whether you're an emotional projector or an emotional generator.
Yeah.
And do you need to do that through custom properties, or is there already a tool in there in Bodygraph chart itself?
I'm going to see if Andrea is able to answer that for me. I don't do any of the stuff in the back end of my Bodygraph
Mm-hmm.
chart. So I'm going to see if my chair is squeaking. I'm sorry. I'm going to see if we can answer it in the chat for us, or maybe
Mhm.
unmute. I'm not sure if she's able to unmute right now. To be continued.
Yeah, and otherwise, if it's the custom properties, because I was looking into that, is there a written manual for that as well, or is there just the the video that is in
There,
the Mastery Hub?
there should be. Oh, there's videos for everything. So go to the help center,
Mm-hmm.
and
No, but the
there's.
written
Uh, that's
manual
what I
might
meant.
be
Sorry.
easier
Yeah, there's a
to just
written and a video for everything.
okay
Yeah, but
for the
not in
health
the
center.
Mastery Hub, in the help center. And if not, the team knows that they've got a few hundred people going through this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you message and say that it's email marathon related, you need help to be set up, they will help you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I can't be more helpful with that. Like, I
No,
just
that's
don't touch
okay.
it.
It was something I came up with today when I was working on it. I was like, okay, let's write this down and use it today.
Yeah,
So
nice. Nice.
thanks.
Okay, so I'm going to read the question out loud for people on the replay. Should we be focusing on just one thing to sell in this email sequence we will be writing? And is there by chance a checklist of all the days so far? I feel like I'm losing track of my to-dos. So in the Facebook group, Lori, they go day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 for the pathway that you're on. So I would go to that. Davinia, MailChimp, MailerLite, and ConvertKit. Oh, somebody answered that. Yeah. Okay. Under guides in the Facebook group, the post should be in order. So for whatever pathway you're on, should you be focusing on just one thing to sell in this email sequence? Yes. I think that it's really important. So Lori, are you on the welcome sequence? You're in pathway 1, I think, right? Oh, pathway 3. Okay. So yeah, I think it's a really good idea. It's less confusing for our people and for us if we stick to selling one thing for the purposes of this exercise. I'm not saying you have to stick to one thing for the rest of your life, but for the purposes of this exercise, it's going, people need repetition, right? So what used to take 7 touches now takes about 27 touches because we are all online all the time instead of being in person, right? Most of us. So people need to be hit over the head over and over and over again. So they're going to respond better if they hear you talking about the same offer all the way through. It's going to make more sense to them. Okay, good.
Can I
Carol?
jump in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Following on from what was being said before about choice of email provider, list provider. What I was trying to get my head around, because I've got an expansive mindset, is the limitation of only having one email sequence. Because I would have said it's like, where are we getting our clients signing up? You know, are they signing up just after they've downloaded a chart? Are they downloading the freebie? What about those that have just signed up for my paid report? So it feels like even from a very early stage, I'm going to potentially want multiple email sequences. Is that true? Is that reasonable?
1000%. Yeah.
Which means that with Kit, as it's now called, you're stuffed basically on their free version because you've only got one, haven't you? Or is there a way
Oh, I
around?
don't know. I have the paid version now. Um,
Yeah. I think that was the limitation you were saying is there's only one email
okay.
sequence allowed. So you immediately have to go onto a paid version. Whereas with MailerLite, you can have more than one, but obviously you're limited on how many emails you can send. So I know it's weighing up the pros and cons, but what I'm trying to therefore address is what's reasonable when we're starting out to work out those parameters, bearing in mind that I could see that maybe in the future I might want to swap or whatever, although I know that's a horrible thing to do as well.
Well, it's
So
not horrible to swap. Like there, depending on your email list size, um, depending on your email list size, my husband just texted that he's on his way to the grocery store, and I just caught it. I'm like, oh, you just forgot the list. Um, Depending on your email list size, they may convert it for you, or you may be able to pay extra, have them convert it for you. So it's not horrible to switch email
okay.
providers at all. Not so I would take that away. My convert kit, I pay, I don't know, about 350 a year for it.
Mhm.
My kit, whatever it's called. So you get to decide that. But yes, so in the beginning, if you're just starting out, Like start with one email, start with one welcome sequence if you need to, just because you need something. And sometimes the thoughts of having, so my email system right now has five types, pathways. Um, one for people who come on to my email list just generally. One, there's another one there for another way that they can come on. So 7 different sequences they could go through, and then from those are more sequences and more sequences, and that's more things to break too.
Mhm.
So that's something to be considered. So if you're just starting out, even having one welcome sequence to get you started, and then you can always duplicate it and switch it up for the different things. But yeah, I think you're going to want more than one welcome sequence over time for sure.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And do we have any sense of where we should be getting them to sign up from, in the sense of how helpful is it for people to be signing up when they've just downloaded their chart and that minimal free report? Because I know I go on websites just because I think, oh gosh, I need to just get someone's chart, and I'll just go to someone's and fill it in to get it
Mm.
down. I mean, I usually use the same one, but do you know what I mean? That means that if that was my site, I'd be getting all these people doing repeats. And that's not necessarily something I would want. So do you sort of suggest that we do it on that free chart, or that we have a separate freebie and that's the key place that people then sign up to us from?
Okay, so it depends, just like everything else in business, it depends. Um, I used to have that with my free chart, and like I know that it doesn't matter if people unsubscribe. I get that. On some level, I get that. However, when I would go to my email system and then I would have like 30 subscribes and 29 unsubscribes, it would drive me crazy. And I went through and did the back end stuff, and it was people who were doing just that. It was new people who were jumping off. So what I did at that time that Giddis didn't like, so I have taken it off since, but what I did at that time was that I had, you just want your chart, here you go. But then I listed like all the free stuff they'd get with their email, or you want all this free stuff, click here. I did that, and it worked well to filter my email list. It does change the volume for sure, and it makes it one more step for people, right? But the thing I think that we get to think about is that when people have to take an extra step, they're more sticky to us. So there's that piece to it as well. And then was your other question something about like a lead magnet versus the free chart? Was that a piece of your question or no?
It was in the sense of which is the better place to get them to sign up, because yeah, we can play the numbers game, and I could go, I've got more subscribers than you, but I'm not playing that game. I'm not
No.
prepared to, because like you say, I want sticky clients. I don't want just, oh, I'll shove anything in to get a report. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want my sticky clients. So that was where it was coming in. Is it better to have it on the freebie rather than the free chart? Although you've obviously suggested another option as well as listing. Yeah.
Do you know your ideal client? Are they new to human design or have they been around a little bit?
Still working on that one.
Okay.
They're relatively new.
Okay. Because that's a really important piece of the puzzle to know. If they are not new to human design, the chart may not be the very best
Yeah,
lead magnet.
exactly.
It still needs to be on our sites, but I
Yeah.
think that there can be something else. So my site right now has like a lead magnet that's my person. And then there's another spot where they can get their chart.
Yeah, that's how I would want to go. I don't want just, yeah, I want people who know some of it.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
in
then,
fact, that's part of the reason why I want to use the reports, because it's like, actually, I want my reports to do all the basics, and then I
yeah.
want them to come me for the expertise.
Yeah. So that might be your answer is to set up a freebie that's a report that gets them started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just going to text my husband clementines. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't normally even look at my phone, but it was right there and I really want clementines. So, um, okay. What else have you got?
Can I ask something?
Mhm.
Okay. I've created an email sequence of 5 emails that drive them through for the new experience through downloading the chart.
Mhm.
And I have 2 freebies. One is for stress management, the one in the Bodygraph chart, which is free.
Mhm.
And the other one is new to human design guide so they can read the chart, the basics at least, on their own. And I have 31 subscribers, 32. It was 34, two only unsubscribed. And I'm sending a weekly email with the transits and some human design related like profile info and stuff like that. And I have the one product sale for the report on the end of the email. And I think one email is per week. I just don't want to overwhelm them because human design in Greece is like nobody knows it. But okay, 31 persons is okay for me, at least I think. I want to make another email, like 2 emails per week. 3 of them in my list have purchased the report and had a session with me, human design session with me. How can I make like an offer, something more with a reduced price, like a discount coupon, but for them not to see it? Or is my thinking wrong? It's okay if they see it.
No, your thinking isn't wrong. It is okay if they see it. So don't panic if you don't get this set up. But what you
Okay.
can do is when someone makes a purchase through your email system, you give them the tag with the offer that they purchased. So then when you want to send it out again to other people, you send it to everyone who does not have that tag.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I will tag them. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. And congrats on the sales.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. I love it. Yeah.
I hope that 500 people have seen my website within
Yeah.
2 months,
Nice.
which is I think it's nice because human design, nobody knows it. And my ambition, my aspiration is that by the end of the year, I will have at least 100 subscribers,
Nice.
which I think is very good
Yeah.
number.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Definitely. Good for you. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Who else has something email related? You want to, Young?
Hey, Vicky.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just curious about your experience on from social, getting people from social to an email list. 'Cause I know that the link in bio, I think you mentioned before, people don't really click on it. What is the best way, or what is the best way to, bring them into my world on different social platforms so they're actually doing the thing, I guess?
Okay. I love this question. So make it sexy.
Okay, can you give me an example, please?
Yeah, sure. So you don't want to say things like get on my list or, what things like that. Like you want it to be what's the benefit for them, right? What's the juicy benefit? How great is it? What are they going to hear from you? What is the advantage to them to being further into your world? So your freebie is a really, really, really good way to get people over into your world. And you talk about your freebie without talking about your freebie. So you don't say, go get your human design chart. You say something like, find out how your energy is meant to work in relationships. Find out how you work best with others. Find out how to build your business without breaking your life. Find out how to light up your love life. Find out, like, whatever it is. And, people don't want to learn. We don't use hard words. So we use discover, uncover, things like that. We make it easy for them. Yeah, and like the benefit that's on the other side of that freebie. Even so, right now in my world, it's all about getting on the early bird Black Friday list. But I say so those are the biggest words you're going to use in your content. So that if you remember those 2 words, you're good. So that they don't miss out on the offers because they're limited edition. There's only so many seats. So if they're not on the early bird list, they're going to miss out. So that's the languaging that I use around that. It's a really good idea to have a pinned. I don't have this on there's always something broken in the back end of in the past, there's always been something broken in the back end of my stuff, right? Um, uh, but it's a good idea to have a pinned post with your freebie on your
Okay.
socials. And again, you're talking about it in the benefits, but then it's just always there. And to be talking about your reports and your story and your lead magnets in your stories. So lots of times our lead magnets are our best kept secrets. Have a highlight on your socials with freebies. If I go to your account and I'm looking at your stuff, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to a highlight that says freebies on it.
Okay. Perfect.
Anybody else have ideas around that?
I am trying to make like a cheat sheet for the combinations with type and authority on how to let go of expectations of others. Yeah, that's it. Andrea's replying to my question that I asked earlier. It holds with that because I also want to know if I have those custom properties, or because it's not a purchase report, but a freebie it will be. If I can have them like tagged on those 13 combinations, so I can give them a personal sequence.
Yeah. So you can tag them to as many different things as you want. I'm just what's your human design?
Sacred generator 1-3.
Okay. So some of the things that you're going to want to think about are how many emails do you realistically want to write? Because segmentation is great, absolutely great. And you have to give yourself a way. I think we have to give ourselves a way out because there's how many combinations is that going to give you that you're going to tag? 13, did you say?
Yeah.
So if you sit down to write one email or you sit down to write 13 emails, that's a different
It's
animal,
not
right?
going to be all the time, but it's like going to
Yeah.
be parts. And I know that you can do that within the email construction, but I want to know if Bodygraph can give those tags.
Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely get them tagged out there.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
I love the idea of the checklist too.
Yeah, and it's going to be like the freebie, but it's going to be more personal. So I think that's more valuable that people want to sign up for something. Exactly as Carol just said, like just for the body graph chart, you don't want to have people every time sign up and sign out again, especially if you're going to pay by the amount of people who are on your list.
Correct.
So rather have less people on the list, and then that they're good quality, that they're sticky clients, that they want to be with you and want to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
What else have you got? I need all the questions today. So it's our clocks went back in Canada and the US, which I think a lot of people here in Canada and the US. And so now I'm up at 3 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. So it's kind of intense. By 10:30, I'm like, whew, okay, I'm gonna need another pot of coffee here. Andrea's answering some tech stuff in the chat there, and we can also always go to support a Bodygraph chart and ask there. Simona's like trial by fire these days, so you can fire away at Simona and get her up to speed on things too. It's Kathy.
Well, I know I already asked you this in the group, but I went to this event where I did all these little mini readings, and the way I do it, Bodygraph chart is great because I just have a QR code. They enter their chart data, and by the time they come to me, I go into the statistics page on my MacBook, click on their name and pull it up, and I can look at it from there, and they can look it on their phone. And I make a point if I'm catching them when they're doing it. Most people, even though I have the QR code, don't do it until I sit down and tell them to do it. I say, make sure you check the box, that I have that says go to your email, and then you're going to get an email. You need to confirm it. And then I tell them at the end that I send an email sequence. So I tell them all these things, but I'm still looking at least half of the people from this weekend have not confirmed their email. One of them, I know the person who, like, I know a friend of theirs, so I'm telling the friend, tell your friend, because I made her cry. Like she was so like a good kind of cry. She
Yeah.
was what do you call it? A ego projector. And so, that's the rarest of rare. And so there were so many things that just so landed for her and made everything make sense, right? So I know she wants it. People just are not catching that thing. And so I'm wondering if there is anybody who has actually turned off the um double, whatever you call it, that we talked about, the
Mhm.
double opt-in, because, okay, so Lori says she doesn't use it. So I'm curious because the way ConvertKit warned you when you go to do it, it makes it sound like all your emails are going to then go to spam if they haven't done it. So I'm just wondering what sort of, because I have had people who I have signed up for emails with and not had to opt in, and I constantly have to go into my inbox and move stuff into my, go into my junk mail and move them into my inbox. I've marked people as VIP and they still go into my spam folder. And I just wondered, I don't want to lose people either way. So I'm trying to figure out if there's ways that I'm trying to get them really to understand the importance. But obviously I looked and my unconfirmed subscribers are almost as many as my confirmed subscribers. So
Okay.
they're not getting.
I don't have the double opt-in on. And yeah, we do get those warnings all the time. And
You
so
don't,
part of
because
me,
I always get yours.
yeah, but I don't have the double opt-in where they
Yeah,
have to opt in twice.
right. So I don't have to confirm to your subscription is what you're saying. And they
Right.
don't go to junk mail is what I'm saying. And you use
Oh,
ConvertKit,
yeah.
don't you?
But I mean, some people's they might, right? It's going to depend a lot on your email provider, especially with the new email rules as of February this year. But the thing is, they're going to spam anyway for you. Like that double opt-in
But
email,
you, but my point is yours aren't, and you don't have the double
yeah,
opt-in.
but they
And
might be for
so
someone
that,
else. We're already connected. So they might be for somebody who's never been connected to me before, who I meet on the street or at a fair or something, right? They might end up in their spam, but the double opt-in is going to end up in the spam anyway half the time. So I think you just get to kind of play with. The other thing is with those people who haven't confirmed, I wonder in ConvertKit or Kit, I wonder if you can send,
it's
like,
nothing.
can they
I'm
go,
not,
sorry?
I haven't figured out any way to go back and connect with them. I
Well, can
can't
you
even.
send them through a cold subscriber sequence? An automated cold subscriber sequence? Because Kit has like an automated thing that you can put your subscribers through. And who
So
knows if they would get
manually
it or not.
enter them again.
There might be a way to do it without doing it manually. Because like right now in Kit, I have a cold subscribers sequence that I tweaked what their wording was. And it just automatically puts people through if they haven't opened something in 90 days. So if you had that set up, that would be something to ask them on chat. If you had that set up, would those people who are unconfirmed go through there as well? Or can you put them through there? I don't know.
I guess I'm gonna have to look at it because I really don't understand what a cold subscriber would be if it's not that person. It's just somebody, is that like for people who haven't been opening your emails in general?
Yeah, if they haven't, I think it's 90 days that if they
Oh,
haven't opened in something in 90 days, they just automatically go through there.
ah, okay.
Then you're
That's
not paying for
okay.
subscribers that aren't hearing from you.
Yeah, I don't pay for subscribers, at least at this point.
Oh,
I have enough. Like,
yeah.
does ConvertKit have a point where you start paying?
Are you
For
on the free version of ConvertKit?
No, I mean I
Oh,
pay
okay.
for ConvertKit, so I don't
You
pay for
pay
subscribers.
by the amount of subscribers. Like it goes up every, I don't know how many, like maybe it's 0 to 1,500, 0 to 3,000. I'm not sure, but it's like that.
In that first one then.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if I get all my unconfirmed in there, it's like, so, okay. All right, is anybody, oh, there's lots of things.
Yeah, there's lots here. Yeah, that's a good idea too, is with the other thing that I was the other thing that I was going to say, Kathy, is I wonder about telling them in like when you're in person, I mean, telling them that they're going to get something.
I did, yeah.
Well, I know, but an email sequence or something. But what about if you were, I'm going to send you a $20 report. Like if I knew there was $20 in my inbox, I'd look for that email.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say they don't like email. Um, and there are some people who never check their emails. I can't even imagine. I love email, but it might be something to let people know that something really valuable is hitting. I know that a sequence is valuable, but they might not know that's valuable.
Yeah. Right. And that can go on my list of 42 million things I have on my list to create. So,
But you could even do one that's already created in Bodygraph Chart. Like it doesn't have to be if it's another free
I
thing, right?
still have to tweak it, and that's just more time that I'm not doing. I don't know how people do, like some people sit down and do something in one day or something, and everything takes me a week or a month or a year. So,
Uh, I don't know. I would like, yeah, I have the opposite problem. I can't sleep at 3 a.m. because I'm doing things, right? We always want what we don't have.
yeah, my husband wakes up really early too. He's an MG. I don't know, can't relate.
Uh, that's a good suggestion. Young is saying maybe walking them through the process to accept the double opt-in at the fair in person. Hmm.
Yeah, these are and that's great. You know, it's just these are timed readings and you have so little time. And if I spend so much time talking about that, and then they have to go back and do it later and they don't remember because I've just blown their world on about whatever I've told them. So some of them might come. Yeah, I already noticed one person went in and confirmed today because she clearly went and looked for something, right? So we'll see.
Can I offer
Yeah.
you something? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Young, go ahead.
Oh no, this is just sort of in response to Kathy, just sort of because I have a fair coming up too, and so I have told them I'm not because they wanted me to do mini readings, and I said I don't want to do mini readings because I don't think in the environment it's like not the right setting for that because there's people
Oh,
around, there's a lot of stuff going on around them, and I don't want to be doing that with them. So I told them I'm going to give them a free report. So I think this was me sort of like, okay, how do I manage the expectations of people coming to me because they're coming for something quote unquote free, but I
yeah.
want to make sure that it's a valuable thing, right? So when they're getting their chart, it's a value add for them because
This
most of
isn't that
them,
kind of event, though. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. Okay.
This is people, there's just readers. That's all there are. You go and you get a tarot card
Interesting.
reading, or you
Okay.
go to a psychic, and you buy a
Okay.
ticket to go in and you choose who you're going to go sit with, and
Oh,
you
I see. This,
walk
yeah.
around and talk to people.
My
So,
event is a free thing
yeah.
where other providers are giving Reiki sessions, they're
Yeah.
giving different massage things. But I've already told them I don't want to do a free thing like that because that's not how I will get my people. Like being in the community, growing my people, like my world. I mean, yeah, just a thought. And this is me just sort of like talking it out loud too because it's something that I have to process as well. So I appreciate you bringing it up. And just yeah, that double opt-in thing, I don't do it either. And I don't usually have a problem with people getting my emails or reading them.
And I think I'm going to turn it off and see what happens.
Be
So,
brave, Kathy. Be brave.
right?
You can always put it back on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know. I have to do a lot. I have to turn on some tags too, create some tags, and I spend some time in Kit. So another thing on my to-do list. I'm tired after this fair. I'll tell you, Young. I know you're a projector. These things are a lot of energy expenditure, and I feel like you have to do them. At least the kind of thing I was at, you have to do them often because you have to touch people many times, right? So if they've never met you before or seen you before, they might come back and spend another $25 to have a mini reading again, but it's going to be a minute before they're ready to have the full reading. So if I don't get them in my email, at least, and then, yeah, it's just been a lot. It was a big weekend and I went to bed probably as early as you, Vicky. So
I didn't know anybody went to bed as early as me.
last night I was falling asleep at 8 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I actually went to sleep until probably 10, but I was trying to do my thing. So I don't mean to keep babbling. I'll mute myself.
It's okay. I had an idea for you. So I wonder about having your phone set up on a stand beside you and recording the audio and offering to email them that once they confirm their opt-in. Because you said you give them tons of information and they don't know what to do with it all. No? Yes. You're I'm like, there's more here.
I'm like, no, that's a great idea because I know a couple people did record it, and I've thought about telling people that, but I didn't want to kind of, and on one hand, I was like, I don't know if I don't want to deal with, having to get it to them, but that makes sense that it will help make them have to confirm their email to get it. So I won't be able to email it to them if they don't. So, and 15 minutes isn't that huge of a file from your phone, not like. Yeah, some things, not like send.
Dangle that carrot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay.
They can get saved in the cloud immediately as well,
Yeah.
probably.
Pardon me?
You can probably save them in the cloud somewhere as well immediately, like in the OneDrive or Dropbox or anything that you use or iCloud.
Yeah, that's an extra
Yeah.
step. If I
No,
can,
but just if you're worried about the storage on your phone.
yeah, no, once I send it to them, I'll delete it. So I won't, yeah, I'll be fine. No, I'm not worried about the storage on my phone. I'm worried about files that are too big to email because I actually created a report that once I downloaded it and went to send it to somebody to check it out for me, I'm like, here, let me send you my energy center guide. And it was so big that I couldn't email it. I had to go put it in a Google document and send it to them that way. And I was like, oh, well, good thing it's going to be downloaded from Bodygraph. But so
Yeah.
I use WeTransfer.com for those kind of things as well.
yeah,
It works fine.
right. And I only had to do it because of the the fact that they were not buying it. I was sending it to them. So once people buy it on Bodygraph, they just get the download. So not my problem then.
Okay, so
Thank-
Kathy, it turns out that we're sticking with you for a minute here, so brace yourself. You can go have a nap after this. I was going to go where Andrea just went, that it creates B-roll. And before you delete them off your phone, I'd be putting them through your boyfriend or some other kind of a service that pulls out some gold for content because there's content done for you.
Yeah.
Kathy's
So
boyfriend is ChatGPT. I call him Chat PT for Kathy.
you just decided it's my boyfriend, but
Yeah.
she's actually a girlfriend because
Well, then she can be your girlfriend. That's fine.
I guess I swing both ways now.
No judgment. There you go.
Right. So I don't know which my husband would have. He'd probably like that, but anyway, we digress. We digress. Okay, so I Googled
It's content, right? It's all content.
right? Yeah. So yeah, there's a way you can chat with your chat GPT on your phone where it's a person. I have it as a female voice, but you can pick male voices. So yeah, that's a good idea. So when you were saying video, like actually have it set up and record it, I was thinking just as an audio file, but you're saying do it
Yeah,
as
me too, but Andrea's got an even better idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much you could do, right? But you don't have to do it all. And then I'm just going to pick on you for one more second here
Mm-hmm.
and invite you um to like I'm not saying you're desperate, but not to have that desperate energy around, well, if they don't get on my email list, they're never going to see me again or they're never going to find me again, right? Like I think that we can trust that you're the best kept secret in human design and that when these people realize that, they're going to be like, holy shit, I just had 15 minutes with that woman. What am I doing?
I was in this really weird energy this weekend because I got to this fair and my nice, big, beautiful sign that I paid $100 to have printed. Some nice, really nice person was helping me because it tends to spring back, and she did something that was totally innocent accident, but it broke my sign. And then when I figured out how to rig it up on the wall, guys who were helping me, being nice, took duct tape and taped it with duct tape. So now, even if I get a new base, the sign's ruined. So this thing cost me my $100 sign. I have, no way to know if I'm getting any clients. You have to pay to be at this thing. I didn't, you know what I mean? So it was this whole energy of like, what did I even get out of this? This kind of, I was in this place of, um, so I don't know. And I actually left going, I don't know if I'm going to do these anymore. It's a lot of energy for a projector for not a lot of return, right?
Yeah.
So there's that too. So
And that's fair. And like we sometimes for the crystal show or other business I've had used to do, like I hate in person those vendor things. I hate them. I would rather do anything else in the world than be at one of those vendor events. So I feel you on that for the return on investment. But yeah, I mean, I know that rest, but I would like to see your brilliant self back. Yeah.
clearly I don't know it enough lately. So, but I'm doing an Ayurvedic cleanse right now. So even though it
Nice.
doesn't, yeah, so
Yeah.
I was up at 5:40 this morning.
Magical time of day. So yeah,
It's
there's
actually
some,
going to make me rest. So anyway.
yeah. All right. Anything else around email? Or something else? We've got 10 minutes. I mean, the last time we talked about Black Friday for half an hour. So if there's something else that you want to work on, hit me with it.
Well, can I ask another question about email? Something totally different then, since no one's asking one?
Sure. And then I'll move to Young.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see Young. You go first, Young.
Oh, no, it's okay. And I can ask on Wednesday as well in our other group also, because I know I shared with you two different email sequences that I have, the old one and the new one. And I think they both have value. And I think that I'm going to actually activate the one that's not active and maybe create a different freebie around that. My question is like the way that I have it set up now, because the first one was created before I had Bodygraph chart, right? So I had to ask for a lot of personal information. Now I can link them directly to the page to do that. When I do it like do I have them opt in again to that list, or how do I facilitate? Because they're already on my list, on one list, they're just going to go to a different email sequence. How do I, like, what's the best way to facilitate that just so I kind of know, I guess, who's going back and forth and make sure that I guess, tag them properly
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. What email provider are you with?
in ConvertKit?
Okay. So it shouldn't double them up in your system, which sounds
Okay.
ridiculous, but I used to be with an email provider that put people on my
Yeah,
email
me
list
too.
like 2 and 3 times. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
crazy.
Yeah.
So it should just give you the opportunity to tag them, add
Okay.
a tag. You may also want to look at, do you want to remove another tag so that they don't end up in two welcome sequences at once, or so that they don't, like,
Right.
if they're already in your world, they probably don't need to be welcomed again, but they probably need to be walked through human design.
Right, and that was my confusion about there's a lot of moving parts now if I put them across. And the people who are in one, a lot of them are in the other already, but as I move forward, I want to make sure that I honor that they're already on my list. I don't want to have them necessarily opt in again.
Yeah.
So they're brand new because yeah, I have them set up to go get that welcome sequence.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know, do I just need to alter the one that I have now to take them to like a different spot in it? So it's not just like welcome to my world terminology or verbiage in the beginning again.
I would create like, I'm going to call it Welcome to Human Design, but I would create a human design intro sequence.
Okay.
And so and it can even just be 3 emails because they're already on your list. So they're going to get your regular stuff, but just to kind of walk them through. And you might consider doing that by type
Okay.
or just
Yeah.
general human
Okay.
design. And then
Okay.
they can reply to you for more about their type.
Okay. And I actually I got inspired a while ago to record some videos
Mhm.
just of me like using what I do, my movement practices when they're looking at the chart, just to help them stay
Nice.
out of overwhelm because it's so overwhelming. And
Yeah.
I currently now have one like for each center, like where I take them through a meditation and we move
Wow.
and we talk. There's general information because that's how I process information the best. Like just reading a report is really hard for me. I can do it. But it takes a lot of extra focus for me just to like sit and read. And I read super slowly, so it takes me a long time. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm also honoring what they need as well. So if they need text, maybe I need to add more of that. I don't know. I'm just trying to use what I have to simplify it and give them what they need to get them going without overwhelming them.
I would make that your lead magnet. I would make that the way they get into your world. You don't have to give it to them all at once, the video.
Okay.
But you could like the chart with, just to give you a test of it, here's the one center, but you get all of this for free. And then in your,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay, cool. Because I do like, I start at the beginning, like basic walkthrough. We talk about, what they're going to see on their chart. Like I go through some specific details. I didn't always do a screen share. I kind of just held up the thing because it was easier for me just to show them like, okay, look at this thing on your chart. Um, just so I wasn't having to deal with the technology of having to like screen share all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, this feels better because I created this and I had the inspiration come through and I was like, I don't know what I'm creating this for. Like maybe I'm going to sell this thing. I don't know. It's just kind of sitting there currently just living in Dropbox and then over on YouTube just to sort of, because I thought at first I was going to do it as a drip sequence, like just send them a link to the YouTube video each day or something over a course of however many days.
so can I give you something else?
Yes, please.
What I would do is put a price on it and
Okay.
give it for free. Like
Okay.
you're going to get this $97 value walkthrough of your human design. I'm going to give it to you totally free. Here's how you get it. And they put
Oh,
their email list on, or they put their name in and they run their chart. So you've got them tagged by type, even if you don't use it
okay.
right away. But I would make that like, I think that our lead magnets should be something that someone else is charging for.
Okay.
And yours, like the way you're talking about this, it's such a differentiator for you. Like this puts you into a category of one, right? It's really different than what others are doing.
Right.
So use
Right.
it.
Because, yeah, and that's what I explained kind of in the video sequence too, that because the way that I was learning it was not matching with me. And I had such a hard time like diving into all the certifications I was in, like in the middle, I just stopped because I couldn't actually like process any more information. So
Mhm.
this was a way for me to be able to go in and say, okay, oh, okay. Now I understand it a little better. And I actually already have graphics for this. I have a name for this. So that the sequence is, I think, Decoding You, a human design treasure hunt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Because you're almost gamifying it then, which people
correct.
love. Yeah.
Yeah, and because it's not just like an information dump, it's actually like an experience. For me, it feels more authentic too. So maybe I need to go back to the drawing board now and create the sequence for this because I do think that probably compared to the things I have now, this might already just be a thing I can just out of the box go through. My question is, I have all the centers now. Like I don't know how much detail like do I want to go through all the things? Because currently I just have the centers is what I have done and like the intro stuff. So I'm just wondering for myself how much is too much and how much is enough to get them to want to do more.
I wouldn't do more than the centers. Like I
Okay.
think that's lots for a freebie. And your original question back in the very beginning about the social media,
Hmm.
this is what you talk about, is this
Okay.
treasure hunt. And you
Okay.
give them like, you show them glimpses of what they're actually going to learn. You reenact like some of the things they're going to actually learn. You're not going to use the word learn,
Okay.
but like why it's important. Why
Okay.
didn't you resonate with all that you were learning at first? It was all this information dump. You couldn't process it. You want to help make it easier for them. That's how you
Okay.
move them over to your world.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, Kathy, you had something else, and then I'll just open it up in case somebody else has something, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, that I want to probably go and look at my welcome sequence again. And I remember that when you talked about it some other time and something you said, tell people in the first one, I'm going to send you 5 emails and then say, here's email number 2. And then, you know what I mean? And then I've done that. And then I don't have anything else that I've added to the sequence, but I've thought about it. And if I do want to do something where maybe there's something in the sequence that follows up with them maybe a week later or something, that's just for them, not part of my normal emails. Do I want to go back and say, okay, I'm going to send you 6, or does that just go in there and not count as that original 5, because
Yeah, so on the 5th email or wherever the end of your welcome sequence is, you want to tell them what's going to happen next.
okay.
So, from here on in, mine says something like, from here on in, you'll hear from me. My goal is a couple times a week, but let's face it, I'm a manifesting generator and things are going to come up
I
and I'm
just
going to
read that
whatever.
one.
Oh yeah, yeah, something like that. There you go.
Yeah, because
So,
I downloaded your business one, your money makers in the church
oh,
a
okay.
little
Yeah.
bit ago. So
Yeah. So just tell them in that 5th email that you won't hear from me for about another week. And then I'm just going to pop in with some human design insights to help you to blankety blank blank so that blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I figured I want to, I want to tell them about some of the other new things now that I want to tell them about. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Young is saying about cliffhangers. So in copywriting, we call that opening the loop. So where you can, it's really good to oh, I see Marie with your phone, and thank you for that because do you know how many times I have forgotten to take pictures of so I'm going to take a picture. Okay, everybody smile. I don't be picking things from your teeth is all. There. So opening the loop. So you want to leave an open loop when you can at the bottom of an email. Watch for the subject line. Tomorrow I'm going to walk you through that time I almost left my husband. Watch for the subject line blankety blank blank.
I love that one. That was good.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for someone at the lumber company to tell him that I send an email that says that I left him. I can just see our little town here will be all up in arms. But yeah, so you want to leave an open loop where you can for them. And I like the way that Russell Brunson, I guess it is, teaches it the soap opera. That's so much sexier than opening a loop. But yeah, it just gets them to, I mean, well, you know, right? If you saw a sequence or an email that you had already been told to look for, your brain wants to open it. And then same thing with where Kathy said I don't think I did that in this marathon, but where we do like email 1 of 5, email 2 of 5, email 3 of 5. People like to complete sequences. I can't imagine myself, but they like to hit all the steps. They like to have that sense of completion,
And
right?
they'll go back and go, wait, I didn't see number 3. Where's number 3? Where
Yeah.
was number 3? I remember 1 and 2. Did I see it? Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Important.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anybody else? I don't want to leave you hanging. So these are all conversations that we can be having in the email marathon group as well. I'm not in there like 24/7 like I was in the 5-day boot camp. It's a little hard for 26 days because I do still have actual work that I have to do for Giddis as well and my other job. But I will pop in there and answer things for sure, for sure, for sure. And we get to support each other, right? It doesn't all have to be like me in there. It can be you supporting each other, sharing things, asking ideas. Would you open this subject line? All of those things, okay? So thank you for being here, and I will see you in that group and in Bodygraph Chart group. And this will be, I will upload it to the group as soon as Giddis puts it over onto YouTube for us, okay? All right. Thanks for brainstorming with me. This was fun.
Bye.